everyone. My name is Mehul Verma and I welcome you all to my channel. So today we are not going to discuss anything. We have a guest over here. So let's meet Bharti, who has secured a rank 44 in Diaper. So let's meet Bharti.
Hello everyone, I am Bharti. I pursued my B.Pharm from PhD College of Pharmacy, Coimbatore, and I cleared my GPAT with an All India rank of 53 and NIPER JEE with an All India rank of 43.
Okay Bharti. So let's listen some other strategies from Bharti regarding GPAT and NIPER examination. The first question over here is how the pattern of GPAT is different from that of NIPER.
So basically the syllabus for GPAT and NIPER is the same. You just have to concentrate on what you learned for the 4 years and brush up with the basics. But the question pattern differs in a way that in GPAT you'll have a lot of application based questions and in NIPER you'll have a lot of memory based questions. And also regarding the time, you'll have a lot of time for GPAT. You'll have 3 hours and only 125 questions, so you can just take it slow. But for NIPER there will be 200 questions and you have to attend it in 2 hours. So you have to practice a lot of mock tests so that you can keep up with the time.
So how one should plan for GPAT and NIPER?
Planning, I didn't have any special strategy. I just focused on the standard books and I took notes of the important topics from standard books, and before the exam I just revised my notes. I didn't again, you can't focus on the books in the last minute, so you need to have precise notes for all the topics.
So which are the best reference books one should prefer?
The ones we focused in the 4 years, like for pharmacology, K.D. Tripathi, and for pharmaceutics, Lieberman and Lackman, and for chemistry, I focused on Arun Pal, and mostly I watched a lot of YouTube videos for chemistry because you can't understand the concept from the books. So for hybridization and topics like that, I watched a lot of YouTube videos so that I can get my concepts clear.
So what do you think? Is NIPER exam easy?
Yeah, obviously it is easier when you compare it with other competitive exams of India like IIT, JEE, AIIMS exam and NEET and all that. But yeah, if you are thorough with your basics, everyone can clear it.
So what was your percentage in B.Pharm?
80%.
And how was you able to cope up with both the exams? Like you have to give GPAT, you have to give NIPER, you have to give B.Pharm examination.
Yeah, as I said, the syllabus is same, so we just need to do a lot of mock tests because in university it's full of theory and you just need to fill the pages. But here, since it's MCQs, we have to practice a lot to clear it.
So do you really think NIPER is the best institute for each pharma student?
Yeah, I think now that I have spent 2 weeks in NIPER Ahmedabad, I surely think that this is like one of the best institute for pharmacy because there's a lot of instruments, and the faculty over here is also, they are very experienced and you can learn a lot from them. So yeah, every student should aspire to get into NIPER.
Okay. So please tell us, do you really think there must be a specific subject after a NIPER selection? So choice must be a preference or a college must be a preference?
I think you have to go for the core subjects because only then you'll have job security, and even if you're going for higher studies, if you get into a core subject, then you can easily get into a PhD or something. So what I preferred was a core subject in the top 3 9%. Like I didn't go for a non-core subject in Mohali. I instead chose the core in Ahmedabad. So I preferred core subjects.
So which all are the core subjects and which all are the top NIPERs according to you?
According to the NIRF ranking, Mohali is the top, but I think Mohali, Hyderabad and Ahmedabad, they 3 have the same quality, and if you study in any of the 3, your life will be set.
And which all are the core subjects?
Core is pharmaceutics, pharmacology, medicinal chemistry, and the one is analysis.
Okay. Please tell us what should be the strategy in GPAT and NIPER examination hall?
Yeah, this is a very important thing because usually for university exams we study like up to 3 o'clock in the midnight and then go and write the exams. But for a competitive examination, your mindset is very important. You need to have a cool mindset because see, you can't study overnight and clear the exam. Obviously, like what we prepare comes only 30% in the paper. So your knowledge, with your knowledge only, you can clear the exam. And to able to relate what you studied in 4 years in that 2 hours, you need to have a peace of mind, and you should not be tensed. That is important.
So should a person must attend a negative question? I mean, the person, if they think this one must be a positive question or this may get me a negative mark.
Yeah, you can take risk because like out of the 4 options, if you are confused between 2, then you can take risk. But if you are clueless about the question and the 4 options, then you can skip it.
Okay. Please tell us, is succeeding the exam enough or a good rank is more preference?
For GPAT, qualifying itself is enough, but for NIPER, you should aim for a better rank so that you can get into the top 3.
Okay, then which all are the key points for success according to you?
Key point for success is like hard work, and first you need to have confidence in yourself. So the thing is, it's not that you have to be a topper to get into the NIPER. I have seen many people who haven't performed well in the 4 years, like they are below average students, but then they worked hard for 3 months for the exam, and they also got into the same NIPER that others got. So it's not that like only the intelligent and brainy ones can get into it. With hard work, anyone can get into it, because the exam is also it's not very tough actually. It's only about the basics, and if you know them, then you can get into it.
So which all subjects are more important for GPAT as well as NIPER so that we can secure a good rank?
I focused mainly on 3 subjects: pharmacology, pharmaceutics, and chemistry. And since I like pharmacology more, I studied that a lot. And also in NIPER, I think we had a lot of questions from pharmacology. So basically, I only studied Triparthy, and I was thorough with the classification. And in pharmacology, you have to focus on concepts like cardiovascular system, CNS, and then general pharmacology and orthopoids and all that. And in chemistry, I think you have to read the name reactions and the basic concepts like hybridization and all that. Suitix, I think Lieberman is fine, and also Brahmakar for biopharmaceutics. So I didn't like refer a lot of books. I only revised what I studied for 4 months, 3 years.
Okay. So please tell us, what should the mindset of a children while preparing for a timetable while studying?
Like you don't need to study 24/7. I used to take a lot of breaks. That too, especially for NIPER, I didn't study a lot. We only used to hang out a lot and all, because that's what I said. The mindset is very important. Now that you have a lot of aptitude questions, and also you need to have a clear mindset to solve that aptitude. Like you don't need to practice for all that. There was a lot of grammar-based questions, so that you will get in the exam. You will just know that you feel like this is the answer, and then you will put, like you don't need to work separately for that. And it's necessary to take breaks in between, because as I said, your mindset is very important. If you take a lot of stress, then you won't be able to perform well in those 2 hours.
So should a student cut off his day-to-day activities like fun, physical activities?
No need of all that. Like you just need to concentrate a bit extra, but you don't need to cut off the day-to-day activities, because then you'll end up stressing a lot, and you'll eventually perform bad in the exam.
So a student must plan every day, or a whole timetable should be set for a year or a month?
Yeah, you have to study every day, because like what little drops make the ocean, right? So every day you have to study a small bit of the portion, and then you can assess yourself in the end of the week that how much you have studied for the week. So and then you will eventually cover the whole syllabus in 3 to 4 months. That is enough.
Okay, just after clearing your GPAT examination, after seeing your rank, so what was your strategy for NIPER, and what was your aim that I must secure such a rank or for NIPER?
My aim was to score a rank within 100, so that I could get the core subjects in the top 3. And after after the GPAT rank, I was kind of confident. Okay, in GPAT, if I had this rank, then I can perform better in NIPER. So that was the strategy.
Okay. then what are your preferences or what is your strategy to those students who are not able to clear the GPAT and NAPER examination?
It's absolutely fine if you haven't cleared. Like, see, life does not end here. It's not that only if you go into NIPER you will be able to succeed. You can go into a normal college and yet you can succeed in life. So, if you haven't cleared GPAT and NIPER, maybe you can take a break and then again prepare for the exams. Like, if you are really passionate about getting into NIPER, you can take a break and then give it again. But if you are not that much, passionate to get into NIPER, you can also select the other colleges through your state exams. Now that you have prepared for GPAT and NIPER, you will be able to write the state exams also with the same preparation. So you can give a lot of exams of private colleges and the state government exams, and you can get into any of those colleges and perform well over there.
Okay, then what should be a minimum or maximum marks or minimum maximum questions a person must attempt in both GPAT as well as NAPER examination?
Okay, so that depends upon how many questions you actually know. So you can't take risks for a lot of questions because that would end up in a lot of negative marking. So say that I know 80 questions in GPAT, then I'll take risk for 20 questions. Like I attended 100 because I was sure about 80 and I took risk for the remaining 20. But now if I know only 40 questions, then I can't attend 100 over there because now I'm taking risk for 50 questions and my marks will get affected if I have a lot of negative marking. So I would suggest that first analyze how much questions you know. After that you can take risk for 20 to 30 questions.
Okay. After this discussion, it is very clear that you have planned you have planned thoroughly for your GPAT and NAPER examination. So this was a quite informative session for all the students who are seeking GPAT and NAPER examination, and they could aim high by your discussion. So thank you so much that you interviewed with me, and I would like to share this video so that many and many people get this opportunity to interact with the person who secured a quite good rank in both GPAT and NAPER examination. So thank you very much.